Okay, so after we use the band deformer, okay, so if you delete the band deformer, okay, our object will go back to normal. All right, so for example, let me just show you. I already delete my history here. Okay, for example, I have this. I increase my subdivision. Okay, go to deform nonlinear band. Okay, and then I rotate this band. Let's say 90. Okay, then the curvature I increase. Okay, so when we have an object, polygon object with the deformer, okay, and if I delete my deformer, my object goes back to normal. And the same thing, if I, let's say I move my object, okay, it's giving an error there. All right, so because the deformer is still there, so what I can do is, one way is I move together with the deformer. All right, another way is we permanently make these changes to the object. One way is you can duplicate. When you duplicate, you don't have the construction history. After you duplicate, you don't have anything here, but before you duplicate, you have all the construction history. Okay, one is you duplicate and the original you can delete. Okay, another way is you can delete the history. Select the object, edit, delete by type, history, so that you don't have anything here, and whenever we move, nothing happens. Okay, so in this case, our this thing, right? Okay, select the group, press up arrow key, and then go to edit, delete by type. Okay, so once you delete by type, you don't no longer see your deformer there. Okay, and you can freely move your objects if you want to. Right, that's number one. And then now let's look at the coloring part. Okay, here the rocket, it has okay, this one it's okay, just leave it. Okay, has a different colors at certain areas. Okay, one way to for us to apply color is by using a UV map. All right, so UV map, you need to apply texture, right? For this example, we don't do the UV map because it's just a plain colors, right? Okay, so what we can do is let me see. Okay, so what we can do is we select certain part of it, and then we just assign different material. All right, so here the red color is in the middle of the face, red and white. Okay, so what we have to do, we need to add another edge loop. Okay, add another edge loop, and then we select the top part of the faces, right click, assign new material. All right, so I'm going to add another edge loop. Mesh tool, insert edge loop tool, option box, reset the setting, then click and add. Okay, once you add, you cannot just leave it just like that. You need to scale it up a bit so that this is not a straight line. Okay, you still need the curve of the rocket's body, something like that. Okay, once you add, if you still remember, I told you you cannot have sudden changes in the distance, right? This is too small, this face is too small, and this is quite big. This is quite big and this is too small, right? So what we do, we just move our this edge, double click, right click, choose edge, double click, and then move it down a bit. And this one I'm going to move up a bit so that I have an even spacing. And same goes for the bottom part here. We have a different color, the gray color here. Okay, so here we don't have to do anything because we already have an edge, right? So now go back to the top part here, right click, choose face, right click, choose face, and then highlight all the red color part. Select the top faces, select it, select it, right click, choose face, then select the top red. Okay, have you selected? Then you right click, assign new material, Arno AI standard surface. Here. Okay, this is your attribute editor. In order for you to change the attribute of your material, you need to go to the last tab. Okay, if you have too many tabs, right, what you do, you go to edit, delete by type, delete all by type history. Why delete all by type? It will delete history for all the objects in Maya scene. Okay, edit, delete all by type history. Okay, so when you do that, when you select your object, okay, only you have few things here. Okay, I have poly surface, and then initial Lambert 1, then AI standard surface. Okay, go to AI standard surface, change your color to red. Just change the color only, the base color, not the specular color or other color, the base color. Got it? Go back to your front view, select your object, the rocket's body, right click again, choose face, select all the white colors. Make sure you select only the white colors. Okay, when you do selection, okay, try to press 3 and check whether the selection is correct or not, because sometimes we might accidentally select this part. So control click to remove the selection. After you make the selection, you right click again. Okay, so sorry. First one, assign new material, Arnold AI standard surface. Okay, this one is already white, so just leave it as it is. And now I'm going to select the bottom part here. Okay, just click and drag. Then control click and drag to remove this link. Okay, then right click, assign new material, Arnold AI standard surface, change the color to gray color. Okay, the part where the leg is sitting is actually on top of white color. The gray color is much lower. The gray color is much lower, something like that. Okay. And even for this one, this two, you select in object mode. You don't have to select the face, the ring. Select both object, right click, assign new material, Arnold AI standard surface. Okay, just take a look for a while over here. We're going to apply some gradient to our rocket here. If you see the body, right, it's from white it goes to like pinkish color, right, or purple color, light purple. So in order for us to apply any gradient, or we call it ramp. Okay, so for example, let's say I create a simple cube. Okay, and then I go to increase the subdivision, and then I select some of the faces, and then I extrude it. Okay, so let's say this object I want to apply gradient from whatever color to whatever color, from bottom to top. Right click, assign new material, go to Arnold, AI standard surface. It will apply a simple color. Okay, this is your material. Okay, if you want to put texture or gradient or whatever, to go to the base color checker over here, click on the checker. Okay, if you have texture you click file, but we want to do a gradient, so we choose ramp. Okay, click on the ramp, and currently this is black and white, it's already applied. We can't see because we didn't press 6. When I press 6, okay, then I can see a little bit of gradient over here. Here's darker, here's lighter. Okay, but how do I know which direction and all that? Okay, I'll go to UV editor. Okay, so you can see the color, okay, from darker to brighter, and then it's repeating over here. Okay, that's why here it looks very dark, and this part, if I select my face, this is only here. Okay, so initially whenever we create any primitive object, for example like a sphere, it has its own UV layout by default. If I create a cube, this is the default layout. Doesn't matter whether the cube is long or short or whatever. Okay, so for example I create another cube, it's very long. Okay, still the UV is the same. Alright, so whenever we even edit our object, okay, let me just take a look at the cylinder. Okay, cylinder's UV is something like this. You have two caps and then the body of the cylinder. But when I select my object, this one, we did a lot of extruding and so on. So you see, whatever we doesn't know how to show, not default. The extruded part is not the default primitive. Okay, so it will overlapping each other, something like this. And the cylinder, some of the part we deleted, you can see here. Okay, so we need to tell Maya that, okay, I'm going to project the color in a certain direction. Okay, so for example this one, I'm going to create a UV projection from either X value or Z value. Okay, so go to UV, and then I'm going to choose planar option box. Okay, UV planar option box, and then I choose project from which direction, let's say X for example. Okay, and then I click project. So what happened here, you can see in the UV layout, UV editor, we have the entire object like this. Alright, and I can see, can you see the gradient part? Darker and brighter a bit. Okay, so that one, when we want to adjust the color, we need to go to the ramp setting. Click the AI standard surface, click on the color. We already have some connection there, that's why there is an arrow. Previously there is a checker. Click the arrow, and then you can try to adjust this. Okay, so why is it not showing? Let's see. Okay, maybe because of my PC here. Because why? All the white color, it is showing like gray. This is actually white color. Okay, it's showing like a gray. Okay, so when we render, then we will know whether it's gray or white. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as default. Okay, sorry, just push it there, change this to different color, blue and maybe red. Now I can see the blue and red. Okay, top here this is red and this is blue at the bottom. You see, right? No, let's see. Let me see. Put some brighter color. Yellow, also too dark. Let's see. Okay, never mind. So on the screen it's quite dark, so you can't see really clearly. Never mind. So basically you need to select the object, you go to UV, you go to planar option box and then choose your axis. Okay, for this sample, okay, we're going to use either X or Z, it's the same. Okay, and for our rocket, what we do, we select all the white color body. Okay, then we go to UV, planar mapping option box, then choose X, then project. Okay, how do we select? Earlier we already select the color, select the faces and assign color, right? Okay, now we can use that color to select back our faces. How? We go to hypershade, you go to window, rendering editor, hypershade. In the hypershade, you will able to see all the materials that has been used. Okay, I have AI standard surface 1, surface 2, surface 3, so on. Okay, the first one is definitely the red color, then followed by the white color, the second one. Okay, I go to right click, select object with material, then it will highlight. If I click for wireframe, then you can see clearly. Okay, after I select the object with material, I go to UV, planar option box, and then I choose X, for example, then project. After I project, I go back to my attribute editor, go and find my second AI standard surface, click the checker box, choose ramp. Okay, so this is going to be a pinkish color. Okay, pink to white. Okay, so when I press 6, okay, I can see, can you see that? Okay, I can see in my monitor clearly. Alright, so that's how you do it. Again, you go to window, rendering editor, hypershade. Okay, hypershade. Then on top here, you will find all your materials. I go and select the first one, let's say. I right click, select object with material. So you can see it is selecting the top part. Okay, I don't want that. Select the second one, right click, select object with material. Okay, it is highlighting the white color part. After you have made the selection, you go to UV, planar option box, X, and then project.
So planner mapping options, X.
Project from X axis, then project. Yep. Okay, so you can see from when you click project, okay, this is your projecting planar, the direction, the rectangle shaped box there. Okay, so we are not going to adjust anything, just click outside, select back in object mode, go to attribute editor, in the color checker box, okay, now you see, hang on everyone. Okay, when you right click assign new material, you choose Arnold AI standard surface, right? So immediately what happened, it will open up your attribute editor. So what you can do is you rename the name of the material. Okay, so for example, when I open my attribute editor, select the object, open the attribute editor, I have polysurface 9 shape, polysurface shape, mapping, go and find for the AI standard surface. For example, AI standard surface 4. Okay, this is actually the legs of the rocket, right? Okay, so what I do, I just I put AI underscore legs underscore rate. Okay, I just rename this here so that it will be easier for me to identify later on. Okay, so this one AI underscore top underscore rate. Okay, then AI standard surface 2. This is AI underscore body underscore white. Third one is this is lower part, the gray color. AI underscore bottom gray. Never ever use a spacebar when you are renaming in Maya, whether it's a project folder or the file name or whatever element inside the scene. It could be a color name, it could be an object name. Don't use space. Okay. Done? Renaming?
Change the name, but then when I went back in, nothing changed. Did I have to select it? Here? Do I change it in here or here? Yeah. Yeah. So, ready guys? Or just so just go over there. So. Yeah. Okay, let's change it there to. Okay. This is the current. What do you put into it?
Okay. That. So you have renamed it, right? Okay, so now you open up your Hypershade again. Go to Window, Rendering Editor, Hypershade. Okay, so you can choose according to your name. Why is it not changed? This is okay. This is the ring. Okay, so you find the body white color, right click, select object with material. Okay, and then you go to UV, planar option box, UV, planar option box. Then choose X or Z, then you click project, then done, then select your object, then go and find the material tab
Okay, so.
in the attribute editor.
Yeah.
Alright, then at the color, base color, click on the checker, the black and white checker, then choose ramp, R-A-M-P, ramp. Okay.
This is the
Okay, again, color. Can you find the color?
no, but select the UV.
Okay, then click outside, don't select it.
I'll click that side, yeah.
Select back your object.
Yeah.
Then you go to attribute editor.
Yes.
Okay, you find for the body white color. What name did you put?
Yeah, one more color. Here we go. Yeah.
Okay,
Color now, yeah.
base color.
Yeah.
Click the checker, black and white checker.
Yeah.
Then you go and find the ramp.
Right, yeah.
Okay, click on the ramp and you will get black and white ramp. Okay, the black color on top here, there is a circle and a square box there, right? Click on the circle one, and then selected color, click on the black color.
Yeah.
Then change it to pinkish color. Change to pink color. Done.
Yep.
And then you press 6 in your keyboard. 4 is wireframe, 5 is shaded, 6 is textured. Okay, can you see the difference? So over there we have a gradient. Where else do we have a gradient? Okay, others are just shading. Alright, so for the rest of the part, okay, so for example, we need to put the lighting first, then only we adjust the shader, the material. Alright, so okay, so I'm going to go to Arnold. All copy? Okay, so you go to Arnold, light, sky dome light. Okay, click on the sky dome light. Okay, then you can see in the attribute editor you have color, intensity, resolution. Add the color checker, choose file, then browse.
So choose which one?
File.
Yeah.
Then click the browse, the folder icon there, image name. At the image name, click the folder icon and then choose your this file, the Misty Pines 1K HDR. Then click open. So you can see it's actually it's like a one globe has been created and the image has been wrapped around the globe. Misty Pines 1K. I don't know what's wrong with my graphic card. The display is very down. Really, it's not visible. This is the one. It's okay. Never mind. Okay, so now you go to Arnold again, click on render. Got it?
It's moved into size 2.
Okay, here you can see that some of the part may be not visible. So how do you know what is your viewing area? Okay, so you turn on your resolution gate over here. There is a small box with a blue sphere there. Okay, resolution gate. Click on that. Okay, so this is your camera view. Okay, so when if your model is not fully visible, then it will cut off in the render engine. Okay, so make sure everything is visible, then you go to Arnold and you click on render. Okay, in the skydome light, let's say I don't want to view the background, I don't want to see the background because I'm going to use it for space, but I just want the lighting information, right? So you select your skydome by just clicking at the viewport here. Okay, you go to attribute editor, skydome light, you scroll down until you find your camera, visibility camera. Can you find that? Camera default is 1, change it to 0. So you don't see your background images over here in your render output, but you just see the ship with the lighting effect. And you can see now currently it has some noise over there. Can you see the noise? Alright, so this one you can eliminate by two ways. Number one is you increase the number of sample in the skydome light. Skydome light sample default is 1, you try to increase to 3. Okay, when you increase to 3, the noise has been reduced. Okay, so I'm going to try with 4 now. See if there is any changes. Okay, reduced a bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to go to render setting. Okay, still there is some noise there. Okay, so go to render setting. We go to window, rendering editor, render setting. Okay, click on the render setting and then click on Arnold renderer. Okay, Arnold renderer. Besides the command Arnold renderer, change the diffuse to 3. When you increase the light sample, it will increase the render time. When you increase this camera AA sample, okay, it also will increase your render time. So that's why I don't simply increase, I increase bit by bit. Okay, if you still can see the noise, you increase more. 4, and specular also 4. Okay, we don't have any transparent object at the moment, so transmission is 0. Transmission is considered like transparency. And subsurface scattering SSS, we don't have anything on that, 0 also. And volume indirect lighting also we don't have, 0. Okay, we only have diffuse and specular. Okay, let it to finish rendering. Go back to view, 100%. Okay, you see here, if you want to any material, if you don't want it to be very shiny, okay, you adjust the specular. Okay, so for example, I select my object, select the object, and then go to attribute editor, go and find the top red, the cone red, right? Okay, we have base color. After that we have a specular color. Okay, so specular, if you can either reduce the weight or you can increase the roughness. Okay, normally what people do is they just increase the roughness. Okay, so for example, from 0.2, let's say I put there something like 0.6. Okay, I don't see my reflection, but it's still there. Because of the roughness is quite high, we don't see it. Okay, let's try to reduce a bit more. Let me zoom in a bit. If you put roughness 0, this is very reflective. Okay, so when we increase gradually, it become blurry. When you increase the roughness, the specular become blurry. So when I put 0.3, you have a slight what you call a glossiness over there. And for this one, okay, so the red color top, I increase my roughness, and when I select my this glass, this blue color glass, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce the roughness so that it will be reflective. Okay, so I can try with some different color. Okay, for this one, the ring, right, the one we have done. Okay, this one, what I did, I just select the object. Can you see the preset button here?
Yeah.
Click on the preset, you choose some kind of metal or plastic or anything. Brush metal.
What did you use for the glass?
Brushed metal. The glass I didn't.
Oh, you didn't select it?
No, I didn't use the preset.
Okay.
Okay, because if we made it transparent,
Yeah.
then we will see the body, right? So I didn't change it. And even if you use glass, right, for example, this thing, I go to use preset. Okay, so where is that? Glass. Okay, I go to replace. Okay, if I choose glass and replace, you can see it become black color. Why? Because in the render setting we made it to 0, transmission 0. So if I put there 4 as well, still can't see. If I put transmission 8, still can't see. Let me just double check. you see here, I use a frosted glass. I have some noise over there. Okay, so you need to increase the transmission in your render setting. Okay, currently 1, let's try with 4. Now no noise. Okay, once your image has been rendered, fully rendered, okay, you can save your file by going to file. Okay, okay, you save first, save image, save as JPEG or anything. Let's say I'm going to put some test 1, save it. After you save, it will go to your images folder. Try to open your image. If let's say you want to do some animation within the using the file, and then you want to render the animation. Okay, so if you want to use a batch render, what will happen is, let me just show you. Let's say I have a simple animation. Let's say I just turn the camera around. Just take a look first. Okay, I go to first frame, I go to set key, maybe about 5 frames. I just rotate my camera a bit. Okay, so what happened here, sorry, move this. Okay, so I have a simple animation, 5 frame. Okay, so if I go to render setting, okay, in the common tab, okay, so I'm going to use dot set using scene name, image format, let's say I change to JPEG, quality 1, okay, file extension, file name dot extension, this is single frame. Okay, so let's say we want to do a animation rendering. Okay, so we need to change to name, number and extension. The hashtag is for number, name, hashtag, extension. This is for sequence of images. So end frame, let's say I'm going to put 5. Okay, start frame 1, end frame 5. Okay, I go down, renderable camera, this is perspective camera. Okay, we don't have any additional camera, so perspective camera. Okay, the preset, this is the image resolution. Okay, in the preset, so I'm going to make it lower. This one maybe I put 640 and then 360. Okay, very small size. Then this render setting, I'm just going to leave it. Click OK. Then in order for me to render the sequence, I need to go to rendering menu set. Okay, earlier we were using modeling, right? Now we go to rendering. Okay, you go to render, then batch render. Okay, so I'm going to click batch render, then allow access. So what happened when we click batch render? Batch render is to render animation. Okay, if we want to render single frame, you can straight away go to Arno render. Okay, but here we want to animate this animation, right? Okay, so what happened here when we click batch render, it will run in background. So if I check here, CPU usage, there is a Maya batch running at the background. Let me see. Okay, Maya is this one and Maya batch is running. You can exit Maya once the Maya batch has been started. Alright, so currently it is still rendering. Okay, once render is completed, it will save your file over here. Currently this image is being, because the size is very small. Alright, so okay, so again I'm going to show you. Okay, let's do this together. I'm not going to animate the camera. Delete selected. Okay, so if you go to your outliner, okay, you have a lot of groups here which you actually not using. Alright, so how can we clear all this? The one which is not related, you go to file, you go to optimize scene size option box, optimize scene size option box. Okay, this optimize scene size option box, you don't simply check everything if you have a rigged character inside. Okay, so it will spoil your character, but currently we just have a simple model, right? So if you have a simple model, you can check everything. So one of it is empty layer. Where is that? Okay, remove unknown nodes, remove shading network. Check also. Okay, done. Then click optimize. Okay. So why is it not rendering? Let's see. Yes, one more thing is delete history. You go to edit, delete all by type history. Okay. After that, edit. Let me see. What else we have? Okay, sometimes you don't delete. Supposedly, whatever empty group you should have deleted. Okay, so if I select here, you try to select all your objects, the groups. Okay, see if there is any highlights, then you can delete it manually. Just highlight, make sure there is nothing is selected, then press delete. Okay, try to select one by one if you are not confident. Okay, now this is selected, you don't delete. This is selected, no delete, don't delete. So we only have few things going on here. So it should be 2 groups, 1 polygon. Okay, the rest everything delete, and even the image plane also you can delete. Two group, 1 polygon, 1 light. Only 4. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to parent this 2 group to the polygon. Select the 2 group by control click. Then lastly you select the polygon. Then you hit P for parent. P for parent, yes. Okay, so what happened here, you can see if you expand the poly, you will find the 2 groups there. So after this, I don't have to select the glass anymore. I just select the body, the glass will be selected. Alright. Okay, now we're going to create a simple animation. We go to top view, and then you go to curve and surfaces. Click on EP curve tool. Draw a path for the rocket to fly. Just click, 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 click. Enter. To end the curve, press enter. Okay. Alright. Then from the perspective view, this is currently the curve is flat, right? So we're going to add some 3D space. You right click on the curve, choose control vertex. So I'm going to move the front part here to be up, some are down, and this one maybe further a bit. Okay, just move it away so that it's not look very uniform or flat. It has some 3D space. Okay.
So you
right click on the curve,
yeah.
choose control vertex,
Yeah.
then select the control vertex, maybe one control vertex, you move it up,
Yeah.
and then another one move down or up, left or right. Okay, front or back. Okay, you just randomly move it so that you have some variation there. Each of the control vertex. Okay. This part. Have you parented? No. Okay, so you select the 2 group, the windows, from the outliner, control click, then lastly you select the object, press P. Okay, so now after this you just select the polygon to select entire thing. Okay, then from the top view you draw a curve. use EP curve tool, and then you just simply draw some path, and from the perspective you adjust the height of the control vertex. This will be the path for the rocket to fly. Your background is quite disturbing, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Close up. Yeah.
Okay, so what do? You select the sky dome light, then you go to attribute editor, you scroll down up to where is that? Display. Viewport, sky radius. You scroll down and look for viewport, sky radius, change the sky radius to 0. Okay, when you do that, what happens is it will scale down from the viewport. Okay, you won't be accidentally selecting the sky dome, but it is still there. When you render, you still get the same output. Alright? Alright, the curve done. Go to window, preferences, setting preferences, and preferences.
Yeah.
Then you go to setting,
Yeah.
not setting, sorry, file projects.
Yeah, all projects, yes.
Okay, and then autosave enable.
Yes.
And then interval minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, you can leave it as default as 10, or you can set your own time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is for autosave.
Yeah.
And incremental save, file, save scene option box.
Yes.
Check the incremental save, limit the incremental save. Okay, sometimes why we limit the incremental save is because the file size might be big, your scene number of this thing. Okay, so number of increments you can put maybe 100, I don't know. Okay, then save. Alright. Okay, so you already have your curve, you already have your objects parented together. Okay, so we're going to attach this object to this part, okay, at certain duration. Alright, so what we do, we rotate the rocket so that it aligns with the starting of the curve. Okay, so I go to top view. Okay, select the rocket, E for rotate, and then I just rotate in Z-axis. I go back to my channel box, I put -90. Okay, and then rotate Y, rotate X. You need to follow your curve direction. Align with your curve. Okay, I'm going to move this. Okay, something like that, and then move it so that the cone's tip, right, it is at the edge of the curve here. The entire thing again, no. Okay, so you can see by looking at there is a white color and green color, that means you are selecting everything again wrong. So you select any member, something like this, and you press up arrow key, okay, until you select the top in the hierarchy. Okay. You just click on the body. On the body, after you select, you press up arrow key to confirm it. Then shift select your curve. Then you go to animation menu. You go to animation menu here. Got it? Then you go to, let me see, key. Constraint motion path attached to motion path. Okay, here constraint motion path attached to motion path option box. Found it? Constraint motion path attached to motion path option box. Okay, so you will get this. Okay, here leave it as default. Let's say up constraint. Okay, what else we have? Scroll down. Okay, how come? Okay, the time slider. Okay, currently we have 1 to how many? 120. Why is it showing? Okay, I'm going to choose a start end. Okay, start at 1 and at let's say 200. Okay, start at 1 and at 200, and here you must have 200 frames. The first value here, this one, change to 200, so that your last frame is 200. Okay, so here you can see, you can click and drag, you have up to 200 frames. Then you click attach. Okay, so here what happened? Okay, does it change your position? Go back to first frame. Make sure you are at first frame over here.
Yep, that's fine. Frame 1. Yep.
Okay, here also return 1. This is your current frame. Okay, how is your position of your ship?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, you go to channel box. Can you find the motion path 1? Okay, click on it, and you have a front twist, up twist, and side twist. Okay, click on the front twist. Okay, you try to rotate, up twist, rotate, side twist, adjust a bit. Okay, you adjust until it aligns back with your curve, then you try to play back. Hit the play button over here. Play forward. Okay, mine might be different from yours. The front twist, up twist, and the side twist. I didn't adjust the side twist, I just adjust the front twist and up twist.
So I've got the motion bar. So click front twist.
Click at the attribute name, middle mouse button, and click and drag in your viewport.
It's working.
Is it playing very fast?
No, it's not so slow.
So you can see if we didn't change this, right, the up twist and front twist, okay, so by default it is standing like this, right? So when I play back, it will just flying like that. So we need to align it to the direction of the curve. So go back to first frame, okay, and then you adjust nicely. Okay, done. Okay, so this is basically we are animating to follow a path. Okay, if you want to make your animation faster or shorter, what you can do is you can, the 200 number, can you see the 200? That is your last frame. You can double click that. Okay, you can go to your attribute editor. Okay, so you go to position marker, shape 2. Okay, the time you can change it, let's say I change to 100. Okay, and then enter. So here it's already updated to 100. So when I play back now, it will be much faster. The movement will be faster and our animation will end at 100 frame. Okay, if you want to make it slower, you increase the number. Just select that number, go to attribute editor, change your time. And you can still edit your curve. Let's say you are not happy with the curve, you right click on the curve, choose control vertex, and then you move it. You right click on the timeline, you go to playback speed, change to real time. Okay, previously my setting was here. By default this is the setting. Okay, so you right click on the timeline, change the playback speed to real time. Okay, then it will play our graph editor. Okay, don't worry about it, just follow. Okay, select your rocket. Okay, select your rocket. You go to attribute editor and then choose motion path, and then click select. Okay, when you select, you are actually selecting the animation. You see there is a red color marker at the first frame and the last frame. That is your keyframe. Okay, so then after that I open up my graph editor. Go to display, window, animation editor, graph editor. Okay, so when I click the graph editor, you can see this is my animation curve. Okay, the initial part here, the tangent is flat. Here also it's flat. Okay, you can see the gray color line there. Can you see that? I can zoom in. Okay, so the tangent is flat. So what we need to do, we have to select the curve, change the curve type to linear over here, linear tangent, so it will become straight line. Select the curve like this and then click the linear tangent. Alright, so now when I play back, go back to first frame, play, the speed will be always the same, in the middle, at the back or the front. It will not slow down. Okay, so again, select your rocket, go to attribute editor, click on motion path and then click select. Then go to window, animation editor, graph editor. You will see a curve, select the curve, change it to linear tangent. That's it. Then you can close it, then you can add. What you do, you change the UI into classic view. How do you change? You go to window, setting preferences, you find for animation and then go to graph editor, change the graph editor UI to classic. Alright, so then you can see it correctly. This one only if got problem. If your graph editor, when you open your graph editor, you don't know what's going on with the curve, then you change the UI to classic. Alright, then I leave it as modern, close. Okay, now we're going to animate the camera. Okay, so I don't want to use my what we call perspective camera. Instead, I'm going to create a new camera. Go back to your first frame. You go to create camera. Create camera. Okay. Okay. After that, you go to panel, perspective, change to camera 1. Panel, perspective, change to camera 1, and now you can view from your camera 1. Okay, so let's say I'm going to set the display something like this, and you can see the camera name down there. Here. Okay, earlier it was perspective, right? Okay, so change to camera, and also you turn on your resolution gate. Alright, so what I'm going to do, okay, just take a look first. I'm going to delete again. I'm going to delete my camera. Okay, just take a look first. I go to create camera. After that, I change my panel perspective to camera 1 so that I view from camera 1, and then I can actually set my camera. Actually, I'm moving my camera. When you move your view this, you are actually moving your camera. How do I know that? Okay, I go to 4 view panel. Just take a look first. Okay, this is perspective, not this one. Okay, this is our camera 1. I change my view to camera 1. Then when I change my view, you can see from the top and the front view, the camera is changing the position. Can you see that? Okay, I'm not moving my camera, but I'm just changing the view over here. Got it? So whenever you change your view, you are actually adjusting your camera. Alright? Okay, so let's go back to my camera view. Turn on the resolution gate. Okay, so let's say somewhere here. This is my first frame. Okay, so I'm going to click select camera. Select camera. Just take a look first. Don't do yet. I'll repeat again. Okay, select the camera. Okay, down here below the view, and then I press S to set key. S is here. You go to animation menu, key, set key. Okay, S. When you press S, what happened? There will be a red color line here, which is the keyframe. If you look at your channel box, it will be in red color over here. So before I set key, it's like this. When I press S, it will become red color. Okay, so that means that object or whatever thing that you have selected, it has a keyframe. Alright, so then I move my time a bit, let's say about 30, let's say 40 frames. Then I move my camera like this, go nearer. Okay, then I set key again. Make sure your camera is selected. Make sure this is selected. Then press S. Then I move my time a bit more. Then I go and find my rocket like this. Then I set key. Then change the time. When you change the time, the rocket already flying away, right? So you find your rocket, something like that. Bring it to the center of your screen. Press S. Go some more. Set key. Go to last frame. Just rotate a bit the camera. Then I set key. So when I play back, the camera is following the rocket. Okay. Okay, I'm going to repeat. I'm going to delete my camera. Okay, now you follow. Create camera, click. Have you created? Okay, after that, change the panel from perspective to camera 1. Changed? Okay, and make sure your camera 1 is here, and then adjust your view so that you can see your rocket clearly, and turn on your resolution gate. Resolution gate on it, so that you know which are the area the camera is covering. This is your camera 1. Your rocket is visible clearly. Then select camera. Click on select camera. Press S. Okay, then change your time to maybe about 50 frames. Just click at the number 50. You can click and drag also. Okay, go to 50 frame, about 50 frame. Then you just pan, and then you can just dolly. You can rotate, orbit around. Okay, make sure your rocket is visible. Then set key again, S. Make sure you don't select your rocket. Don't select your rocket. And if you accidentally click outside, right, you see there is no more white color frame. Let's say I accidentally select my curve. You go back to select camera. Then you press S to set key. Then change your frame to 100 frame. Current frame to 100. Then search for your rocket. Alternate middle mouse button. Your rocket is visible. Make sure you select your camera. Then S for set key. Then go to 150 frames, find for the rocket, press S, go to your last frame, find for the rocket, press S. Then images. Alright, so first thing, you go to render setting, you go to common tab panel. Okay, where is the render setting? It's here. Display render settings. Yep. Okay, if you can't find it, okay, you collapse all of these things. Okay, and then try to click one by one. Now this one. Okay, can you see this some straight line with the arrow and all that? Okay, click on that line, it will collapse whatever menu you have, and then you try to click one by one. Okay, you see I already collapsed everything. Collapse. Okay, so I don't have anything here, I can see just arrows there, right? Okay, then you try to click one by one until you find the render setting, this one. Okay, render setting, display render setting, go to common tab. Okay, and then you change the format, image format, let's say JPEG, and then quality 100, color space, use view transform, leave it, frame animation extension, number extension, name, hashtag, and extension. Okay, if you just in case, if you change it to name extension number, you have to rename all the files so that the extension is sitting at the back.
And so underneath the frame animation extension, you change it to hashtag.
Name, hashtag, extension. Hashtag is for number, the frame number.
Name, hashtag, extension.
Yep, yes, correct. Then start frame, end frame. End frame is going to be 200. Okay, and then you scroll down to renderable camera. Currently is, change it to camera 1 or camera 2, depends on which camera you are using. Okay, change to camera 1, and then you go down image size. Image size you change to 640 360 so that it won't take very long to finish render. 640 360.
So in the
Width 640, height 360. And then just double check here. The camera anti-aliasing, AA is anti-aliasing 3444. If you can reduce the transmission, it will be better, because when you render a transparent object, right, it will take very long time. So if you reduce this to 1, maybe your output might be affected, but we just want to see the result only. Okay, so don't worry about it, you change to maybe 1 or 0.
Which one was it?
Transmission. Transmission is for transparency material. Okay. Here under Arnold renderer. Okay. Transmission change to 1. Then close. Then close it. You go to rendering menu set. Rendering menu set. Here. The animation, modeling, rigging, rendering. Then render, batch render. Click on it. If there is any error message box, you just allow access. Then what's going on at the back is actually Maya batch is running. Okay, so you can actually save your file, save scene, and then you can exit your Maya. The rendering still will ongoing because it's a different software running at the background. Okay, I already exit my Maya.
You just close the Maya?
Yeah, you can. But the batch render is still running. You can see the process CPU usage is 100%, almost 100%. And if you check in your project folder, images folder, you will see your rendered images. Remember, you put the name, hashtag, extension. Okay, the front part will be your scene file name, then followed by frame number, followed by the extension format, JPEG, EXR, or PNG, or anything. You can't see the extension, is it? Can.
I'm not in the
Images folder?
layout. Small.
Okay, if you want to preview your animation, the sequence images, okay, you don't have to have a compositing software. Just to preview, what you do, you right click, you open with, choose default program, open with, choose default program, you go to browse, okay, again right click on the image, open with, choose default program, click browse, you go to program files, Autodesk, Maya 2018, 2016, or whatever, and then you go to bin, then you find for fcheck, you press F, you will find fcheck.exe, fcheck, then you click open, and then choose the fcheck and make sure you don't check this, always use don't check, then okay, don't check this, make sure you don't check this, click fcheck, then click OK. So what happened here, it will open up Maya's default preview window, then you go to file, open animation, click on open animation, click on the first image, then you click open, click on the first image, then you just click open. First time it will load all the files, the second time it will play back in real time.
So you go to program files, local disk, order disk.
Maya.
Okay, goes Maya. Yeah.
In F check. Press F. F again.
Check that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then file, open animation, choose the first file. So, yeah. Oh, but there is a watermark there. Alright. It will load first, then it will play back. because we haven't finished render, right? So you just play back the one already rendered. Choose over there. Files over there. Maya. Pin. File. Animation. This is your first. Okay, you see, so what our friend did is he don't have a sky dome there. Okay, so what happened? No light, you cannot see anything. Okay, you need to have some light so that you can see. If not, everything will be black. How come you don't have? Delete. I never asked you to delete.
So it's going to be 240 images, isn't it? Right? Is it going to be 240 images? 200.
Okay, because we put start from 1 to 200, right? So it's going to be 200 images. Okay, so once the rendering is done, we can take the image and then put it in like Premiere Pro or After Effects. Okay, and we compile it as a video, we render as video. So the default normal 3D application output is sequence images, not as a video, unless you use a Maya software renderer. Okay, in Maya you have Maya's own render engine, Maya software, Maya hardware, and vector and all that. Let me show you. Do you remember in the render setting there is one column render using Arnold, right? Okay, so we can actually change that to different thing. But that Maya software renderer is not, it won't give you the high quality output, and it don't have HDRI image based rendering, don't have, and it doesn't support the 3 button. When we press 3, right, rendering, right, okay, it doesn't support that. You need to make it smooth. Go to mesh, smooth, then only you can render. Okay, if not your object will be jagged a bit. Go to render setting. Okay, most of the tools here, whatever we can see, is actually a plugin. That's why when we open Maya, it will load all the plugin first, then only we can start to work. Okay, or else we have to wait for a while. You see, for example, when I open the render setting, it doesn't load because the Arnold plugin haven't loaded, right? So here, render using. Okay, if I click here, you have Maya software, Maya hardware, Maya vector. Okay, previously they have all this plus Mentor. Now no more Mentor. Okay, and if you install Mentor, you will have it here, and if you install V-Ray, you will have it here also. Okay, there is another render engine. What else render engine? There are a few more render engine like Cycle. I don't know Cycle is supported in Maya or not. Maya, why people using? Because that has become an industry standard. Okay, everywhere people use Maya.
Also too, you've got other packages that go with it.
Yeah.
You want to count the other components.
Almost done.
So maybe that's one of the reasons why Autodesk was giving it free to our licenses.
Yeah. Actually, they should give it free for students, because why? When students after graduation they go to apply, open with the F-check. First, you need to open the image in F-check. Then only you open animation. Choose one of the file. Then it will be okay. My lighting is very bright, overexposed.
So you have one of the first images, number one, and check.
When you open, doesn't matter any image. When you open animation, you choose the first image.
So just open.
When you double click, it will open video.
With
basically, you need to have your light. If you don't have light, nothing will appear. Any questions so far? Maybe it's quite a lot. Don't worry, you need to practice. Okay, so you need to keep on practice, and you need to model different types of things so that you can know all the tools.
you put the videos on.
Yeah, sure.